we are tracing the history, the footsteps of Christianity in the East African coast. Yes. We want to start here. Ludwin Krapf was a German-born missionary. He is credited for having brought Christianity to the shores of Eastern Africa. Yes. In this episode, we start here in Mombasa, in Mkomani. We are in Mkomani. As you can see, the ocean is just below us here. And you can remember the old port used to be somewhere across the water. So when we arrived, they set up base around this area. Yes. I think they used to camp around here or something. So that's the wife, retreat, and the children.
And there are 3 graves, 4 graves.
There are 4 graves. I don't know who the fourth person is. But what I know is that 2 children of Ludwin Krapf are buried here, and the first wife, Krapf.
Oh, that's why there's only one tombstone.
Yes, there's one tombstone.
And I've seen a monument up there.
Yes, there is a monument in honor of Ludwin Krapf, which we are going to see right now. This is the graveyard of Ludwin Krapf's wife, Dietrich.
Died on Thursday, July 1844.
Yes, 13th July, 1844. You can guess how many years those are. Because this is 2024.
That's good.
170 something years.
And on the 2 graves, there are 2 children as well of Krapf.
So they died when they were young.
From history, it said that the first child, there was a first child who passed away immediately the day after they were given birth. Then the following child was born, and I think was alive for about 3 or 4 days or sometime. Then also died. Then immediately after, the wife also died.
Oh.
Yes.
So there was no surviving child.
Yes, from the first wife of Ludwin Krapf.
Oh, this is the first wife.
This is the first wife. Yes. Ludwin Krapf had come to these shores as part of the Church Mission Society of the Church of England, and to spread the gospel. God, and in memory of Dr. and Mrs. Jonah Ludwin Krapf.
At that time, Connie, they were doctorates.
Yes. He got a doctorate later on.
From the honorary.
Not honorary read. He was very learned, by the way.
They were PhDs at
Yes,
that time.
they were PhDs.
So they were
PhDs have always existed since education was known. Bwana Krapf na mkewe walifika Mombasa May 1844. Mkewe alikufa akazikwa karibu na hapa, and we've seen where she's buried. Bwana Krapf alifikiwa na Bwana John Rebman in 1846. Nao walienda kwao Rabai, wakakaa huko. Ndivyo kanisa la Kristo lililo sasa lilivyobuniwa katika nchi hii. That is how Christianity was founded in this country. So, whatever you worship, you think you know Christ very much, and you've not come to the people who brought you to these shores. You have your own problem.
Then there is a question.
Yes.
Yesterday
He was born in 1810 and died in 1881.
71 years.
Yes.
This is my question. In our previous episodes, we have come to learn that the Portuguese actually they're the ones who brought Christianity.
They were
They
here.
brought Catholicism.
Yes, but you know it never left the coast.
Or it didn't leave the coast.
It never left the coast. It never even left whatever. For Jesus and around and the island.
Just
Yes.
around there.
The Portuguese were not missionaries. They
They're
were
not
not to spread.
missionaries.
They were business people. Yes.
So, as in, they're just worshipping.
They were worshipping in their own nature
Their own
and
nature.
whatever, but they didn't come to spread it.
Okay.
Yes, they did not come to plant Christianity.
I like them.
Yeah, like these ones. These ones are missionaries.
So, this is a very beautiful botanical garden.
Yeah. His Excellency and Reverend Redman discovered Kenya and Kilimanjaro. Like Dr. Livingstone, he died on his knees in prayer on November 26, 1881.
So, Redman died in 1881.
Not really, like, no, that
Oh.
is Krapf. Krapf died in 1881.
Or like like Livingstone, he died on his knees praying.
Yes. You see, there's a business of him and the Redman working together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Missionaries were reporting back to their countries.
To the society that sent them for missionary. So you know the missionaries that came?
Yeah.
The Church Mission Society. He was part of the Church Mission
The
Society.
Church Mission Society.
Yes, they were the Holy Ghost Fathers, among others. You see there's a cross on top.
Amos,
Yes.
what have you learned? Or you already knew it?
There's a lot of history behind Dr. Ludwin Krapf, as you guys know. We've come to see where his wife was buried. What I can say, maybe the climatic conditions, I think they were harsh
To them, malaria.
That's why you find the wife to Dr. Ludwin Krapf passed away just 6 or how many months when he arrived here?
About 3. Because one. They arrived in May.
Yes.
May, and in July she's already dead.
His child also passed away. So the climatic conditions were harsh. Yeah, this is where the history of Christianity starts from.
So guys, journey with us. It is a chilly morning. Now we are headed to Rabai to find the first church. And this first church also, there's a school there in Rabai. And we are also exploring. So let's go and see. Something you want to say?
Today we are trying to trace the footsteps of the life of Ludwin Krapf. He arrived in these shores in 18 which year? 18 something, 1844. We've seen where the wife is buried and his 2 kids, and where the memorial is dedicated to his efforts at evangelization and the missionary work he did. He brought Christianity. It is said that he brought Christianity to these shores. Well, Christianity had come to these shores earlier on, noting that Mombasa has always been a melting point of different cultures, religions, and everything else. But Ludwin Krapf is credited specifically since he was a missionary, and whereas the others may have been Christians and may have come to these shores, the others came for other different needs, and their purpose was different. They came to trade, and maybe they were soldiers. They were part of the Portuguese who came to these shores, but they did not come specifically to spread the gospel. So Ludwin Krapf was a missionary of the Church Mission Society, of the Church of England, or the ACK as it is known to be, the Anglican Church, and they landed first here in Mombasa, in Mkomani, and that's where they had set base. That's where the wife is buried. Thereafter, he proceeded on to Rabai, and we now want to head to Rabai and see where he set up his mission. Where he set up his mission, his church, the church in Rabai. Join us as we trace the footsteps of Dr. Ludwin.
check out our previous episode on Dogokundu bypass, there you go. Yes, still the works are still ongoing. It's at 90 something percent to be complete and launched later on. So check out our episode on Dogokundu, and yes, like, share, subscribe. So we're still on our way to Rabai to catch some good history of Christianity and living Krapf for you. So stick around, continue watching and joining with us too. I've seen something very interesting.
I've seen it as well.
The camera has sensed the car and the number plate and everything, and assigned us to this lane, telling you, okay, something, keep to the leave the lane of that goes to the way bridge. There's a way bridge there, so we have less capacity of going to the way bridge. So they have told us to keep to this lane. That's nice.
Initially, a lot of people used to get this, would end up in the
yes.
The way bridge.
The way bridge. Because actually before it was even marked and all that, yes. We are leaving A8 and joining A109, the great highway to Nairobi. That was the Mombasa Southern Bypass, A8. Now we are joining the Mombasa Nairobi Highway, A109, leading us to Mazeras. Yeah, it's the end of Mombasa County. Yes. Now we're getting into...
This is the end of Mombasa County. You're getting into Kilifi County.
Kilifi County. County 003.
And whenever you hear about where the broadcast signals in Mazeras, they have those ones.
Those ones up there.
Yes. Mitambo zetu za kurushia. The broadcast journals signals for the coast are on those hills. Those are the Mazera station.
I wonder, growing up back then, the digital TV, Angalisha area huko Mazeras.
If you're in the coast in Mombasa.
Yes. Tafuta Mazeras.
And if you're in Western, you must tafuta Webuye. Because ziko pale juu in that long hapo milima za Webuye. Unakwanga hapa alafu Mtito Andei and then in Nairobi. We're slowly approaching Mazeras.
We are now in Mazeras. Mazeras is not far from Mombasa.
But you can imagine in 1846.
Moving from
Mombasa, moving from Mukomani to this place. I'm sure it will take a day or two.
Definitely.
Because because these were bushes anyway.
Yeah. There's no.
And there was no
road.
causeway.
There's no causeway, by the way.
That's the road that goes to Nairobi.
That is to Nairobi. We have turned right on this street that leads us to Rabai. You can see this side is greener. I'm not saying Mombasa is not green, but it's a little bit cooler. So guys, we are in Mazeras, like I told you earlier, and we are having a pit stop here. We want to check out Mazeras kiasi yake. We are here for a pit stop kidogo, and then we continue to find Rabai. Is Rabai far from here?
I'm not so sure. We have to check
My girlfriend.
yes, the girlfriend.
She helped
The
us.
girlfriend will tell us very soon.
How far
It's
it's near. I'm excited for this actually, to discover more about
this side of the
this
coast.
side of the coast and what Ludwin did and coming here.
Yes. You
Yes.
can imagine living in Komani and coming all the way this side. Yes.
There were no trams. The one that you learned from
There were no
the
trams.
trams and all that transport.
So it
Yeah.
means the distance we covered in some minutes.
You can imagine in 1844.
Yes, 1844.
Oh,
Yes. It was
I
bush
wonder
and
how it
everything.
was in 1944.
Yeah.
So the area was very bushy.
Yes.
Just maneuvering around the bush.
Yeah.
We would like to know how that happened.
Yes.
Yeah.
All the
So
way
you-
coming this side, put up a church.
Yes.
We will see.
And on the other side, I can see a deliverance church.
Yeah, there is a
How
church.
coincidental.
There you go. Mazeras
Now that you
Deliverance
can see a
Church.
church here, meaning that they did a good job because this is one of their work.
Yeah,
The one brought this
Christianity.
Christianity here, this place. So we can see we are being welcomed just around Mazeras
With
before
that-
we reach even Rabai.
with that church.
It's so amazing.
So we are at City Side. It's a restaurant of sorts. We want to have got some breakfast. We are on the footsteps. We are tracing the footsteps of Ludwin Krapf, Dr. Ludwin Krapf, one of the founders of Christianity in this region.
In Kenya, in this
Yeah.
region, yes.
Let's catch some breakfast and then we head off
To Rabai.
to Rabai for the mission, the church mission. So, just finished breakfast at City Side in Mazeras. We've been served with by Judy. Judy, say hi to your people.
Thank you.
Welcome back, msiende tena.
Huku ni wapi?
City Side, Mazeras.
Mazeras.
Karibuni.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. This is a road leading to Rabai, the mission. That is Magutwa Junior Secondary and Primary. Also this
Oh, ACK diocese.
ACK diocese
Now you can
of
understand
Mombasa.
that Revman and Ludwin Krapf
Yes.
were for the Anglican Church. The ACK diocese of Mombasa,
St.
St. Simeon's.
Parish.
Remember, we are tracing Christianity in the coast of Kenya, in Mombasa and the environs around.
Where how it came here, it landed, and where it was established.
Yes.
So in the earlier on, you've seen where it landed. Now you're going to see where it was.
It was established.
And the other thing, the reason why he came all the way to Rabai and set it up here is because he had come to Africa, went to Ethiopia first. When he went to Ethiopia, as content creators would say, watu walikata kusubscribe. Kabisa. The channel never took off in Ethiopia.
This Christian channel of
his never took off because already they have their own religion and it was very strong and all that. They were already rebellious against him. So he decided to go to Zanzibar to seek permission to spread the word in Mombasa. The reason why he went to Zanzibar, in our previous episode of Duty Land, that the entire coastal strip, the East African coastal strip, was owned by the Sultan of Oman, the Omani. Yes. So that's why he had to go and seek permission first in Zanzibar. And also from time to time they used to move their capital from Oman to Zanzibar. So he went, seek permission, got the permission, and then he landed in Mombasa. Landing in Mombasa, again, unfortunately. Now this time, yes, he landed, there was a channel, but people did not subscribe. Reason being, there was Islam already established in the coastal strip. Reason being, there were the Omani who are already here. Them, they spread their word of Islam. There was already Arabs who are here who also did the same. So that is the reason why. Now, when Gonga and the wife passed away, he decided to come up to this side.
Where he was joined by another missionary, John Rebman.
Yes, John Rebman. So now we are going to see where they
set up the mission.
They set up the mission.
So we headed to the Rabai mission station.
Yeah. From there now we will know more. Yeah. So stick around. Journey with us.
Watch till the end.
Watch till the end. We are 7 minutes away, according to my girlfriend. This is Rabai. We are in Rabai. It is this small.
Yes.
Okay. Yes, this is Rabai Center. Can't even call it a town. I'm seeing the Kentraco substation. Rabai is to this side. Station.
Catholic Church Rabai
to that side.
I think we should we explore a bit of Rabai, the town. This is C111.
We have diverted, Kiasi. We are on C11 just to explore Rabai, Kiasiake, and see. I think there is a school here. Yes, this is a school. I have no idea.
I think C11 is the one that we have left.
Oh, yes. We have left C11 actually. This is it's on a Saturday. It's called Benyoka Primary. Yeah, Benyoka. That is Benyoka Primary. What are kids doing in school on a Saturday?
I have no idea. I don't know the Ministry of Education.
It's not a boarding school.
It could be.
No, it's not.
It is not.
It is not. So I have noticed women like they're fetching water. There's no water here.
I have no idea.
Okay, this place actually, there's water, but the water maybe you think is napatikana in this like ile inachota kwa barabara. No proper water.
Oh, they are great.
There's a graveyard here.
There's a graveyard
and it
here.
looks
a cemetery.
Looks old.
What is this?
This is the Rabai Kentraco substation. Rabai Power. Yes, you can see this is Rabai Power substation. If this is a substation, it's this huge. There's stations in here. Using very many tankers. So I'm wondering, I'm asking
this is Rabai Power.
Yeah, this is Rabai Power. So he's telling me
power generated here is by diesel.
By diesel.
Yes. It's a generator.
So you can see the.
It's a generator. So you see even the tanks. They have a tank farm.
Yes. Huge.
Yes. You see that entire thing is a generator.
Oh.
Yes.
So that is where they generate.
Rabai Power is a generator. It's a generator. Produces power through diesel.
Diesel.
Yes. So these ones are supplying the diesel.
The diesel.
Yes.
So after exploring those sides, we are back on C111 and still steadily heading to Rabai mission. You can see the clouds. I hope it's not going to rain anywhere there. But anyway. Krapf Memorial Secondaries and the Diocese of Mombasa St. Paul's Church, Rabai Mission.
Dr. Krapf, you know now Krapf becomes very...
So all these things were done after he left?
Yes.
Crazy. We are turning
Off from
C111, headed up to the museum memorial. So now that road leads to nowhere. Okay, it leads to it, but it's spoiled. We've been told it's spoiled. My girlfriend has given us the spoiled road, so we've been directed to the other main road. I think we saw it. You guys saw it, yeah. So let's go back. So now we are back here. There's a signage there, Dr. Krapf Memorial Museum, the heritage of Kenya, and I think the church has been renamed too, or maybe there's another one there. Let's find out. Dr. Krapf Memorial Secondary School. So yeah, we thought it's supposed to be something like this, cab road and everything marked, and the entire place developed because
no, in fact that is Rabai now, where we are saying this is Rabai. Yes, I think even this is the place we used when we went to Jabba's funeral.
Did we?
Yes, then
we were told,
because it was Ribe girls and Ribe boys.
Yeah, Tuliambo turned to the turned to the cab road, the school. So yeah, up there you can see the signages again. Dr. Krapf Memorial Museum.
We are in Rabai and you can find a jersey if you're a jersey lover.
There's Arsenal, there's Manchester City, Manchester United.
What is that?
This is Isaac Nyondo Primary and Junior Secondary.
And here we are at the museum.
Yes. So this is where he came to establish, all the way from Mombasa.
To Rabai Museum. My name is Daniel Munga, and Rabai is a well-known place in the annals of history as a place where Christianity and also modern learning started over 150 years ago. It is here where the first church was established by Dr. Ludwin Krapf in the year 1846. The first church played a very significant role in establishment of other mission stations and churches, and also it served as headquarters of Anglican Church both in East and Central Africa. So before the coming of Dr. Ludwin Krapf, the Rabai people had their own traditional belief systems. The Rabai tribe is among the 9 linguistically related Mijikenda tribes, which originated from Shungwaya and migrated into Kenya even before 15th century. Now, when the Mijikenda tribes migrated in Kenya, most of them settled in Sacred Kaya Forest, and the main reason for their settlements in those forest areas was due to insecurity from slave raiders. As we both know, slave trade was still going on during those days. So Sacred Kaya forests are unique and outstanding African example of how people's traditions and beliefs have shaped a landscape over time and conserved natural habitats. So the forest areas contain traces of historic fortified settlements of the Mijikenda ancestors, which serve as a focus of cultural and ritual activities continuing in the sites even up to date. So the word Sacred Kaya Forest means these were homes of the Mijikenda tribes. They initially stayed in those forest areas due to insecurity, and also we see that mostly these Sacred Kaya forests are mostly located on hilly tops, and the main reason for their location at that point, it marks as an advantageous point for you to notice an enemy from afar. So Dr. Ludwin Krapf was born in the year 18 at the region Wartenberg in Germany. During his young age, Dr. Krapf developed a gift of languages, so he initially studied Latin, French, Greek, and some other languages continued following him throughout his life. He joined Basil, a mission missionary, a seminary that trained future missionaries in mercantile town of Basil, where he developed strong inclination towards pietism. He was
Basil is in
Germany. In Germany. Yeah, he was born in a Lutheran family of farmers, so Dr. Ludwin Krapf was a Lutheran. He was employed by Church Missionary Society in the year 1835. Church Missionary Society sent Dr. Ludwin Krapf on his first mission work in Basil in Germany. He worked for 2 years. Then later on, he was posted to Abyssinia, today Ethiopia. While Dr. Ludwin Krapf was at Ethiopia, he was issued with the condition that he was supposed to learn Arabic language, so he had to move from Ethiopia to a place called Egypt. Now, when Dr. Ludwin Krapf was at Egypt, he met Rosine Dietrich, a widow of another Basil missionary, married her in the year 1842. She gave birth to a daughter, but suddenly the daughter passed away. Later on, we see that Dr. Krapf started his journey to East Africa. Finally, he arrived at Mombasa in the year 1844. He was sent for official clearance from the Sultan Said, who based at Zanzibar, who issued him with a working permit, but with a condition that he was only supposed to carry out his missionary activities in mainland areas, not on island areas, simply because the Arabs had already dominated in most of these islands, including Mombasa, Lamu, etc. So from Zanzibar, Dr. Krapf returned back to Mombasa. He stayed at Leven House together with Rosine Dietrich. She was expectant again. She gave birth to a second daughter, only to die of exhaustion and malaria at Mombasa. A few days later, the daughter also followed her to the grave. They were buried on the mainland north of Mombasa. So the missionaries faced a lot of challenges. Number one challenge, including tropical diseases. We have language barrier, periodic attacks, and also Islamic religion. So Dr. Krapf in the same year 1844, he proceeded to Rabai following through the channel. Finally, he arrived at a small island called Chikaikai, because at first Dr. Ludwin Krapf was rejected into the Kaya forest by the Rabai people simply because they thought Dr. Ludwin Krapf as a slave raider, one of the slave raiders, and also they believed that this man was a witchcraft. So Dr. Krapf stayed at that small island for a period of time, and we had a man who prophesied the coming of Dr. Ludwin Krapf called Jindwa Mwawesa, who told his fellow council of elders that Dr. Krapf did not mean to harm them. That's when we see Dr. Ludwin Krapf was accepted into the Kaya forest. So he stayed for a period of time, a period of 2 years' time, since the 1844 up to the 1846. So he translated some versions of the Bible in Swahili language, and also in the year 1846 he was joined by Johannes Rebman, also who was a missionary born in the year 1820, sent by Church Missionary Society to assist Dr. Ludwin Krapf with his missionary activities. So initially Dr. Krapf wanted to establish a church inside the Kaya forest, but he was not accepted. Instead, the Council of Elders gave Dr. Krapf a place far away from the Kaya forest. So approximation of the land was 99.9 hectares of land, and in the year 1846, he established the first church and a church missionary society here at Rabai. So the church played a very significant role in establishment of other mission stations and churches, and also it served as headquarters of Anglican Church both in East and Central Africa. So the first convert at Rabai Christian Village was called Mrenje in the year 1851. He was a cripple, but due to poor health, Mrenje died. They were joined by the second converts, a father and a son, Jana Begonja and Jana Nyondo, who were baptized as Abraham, Jana Begonja, and Isaac Nyondo. Now, Isaac Nyondo became the first African teacher. He married Polly, one of the ex-slaves from India, and also he became a church elder here at Rabai Christian Village. He died in the year 1881. We also do have other people who gave out notable services here at Rabai Christian Village, including Samuel Kuri, who became the first canon. We have the second canon, William Muta, and also we have the likes of Timothy Mapenzi, who was a slave captured in Tanganyika, founded refuge at Rabai, sent to Europe to study theology. He became the first African evangelist, and also later he established Changombe Christian Village. In this case, we see that Dr. Ludwin Krapf, together with Rebman, were not only missionaries but also explorers. They made some discoveries of Mount Kenya, Dr. Ludwin Krapf and Johannes Rebman, Mount Kilimanjaro, and by doing so, they sent their reports back to Europe about their journey into East African interior, which attracted much attention. So Dr. Krapf created a blueprint for the coming of other missionaries who came later. And we see that later Dr. Krapf retired from this place, leaving behind Johannes Rebman, who became in charge of Rabai Christian Village. He returned back to his homeland, that is Germany. However, in the year 1862, Dr. Krapf came back again to East Africa with a man called Thomas Wakefield. Now, Thomas Wakefield had volunteered to spread Methodist evangelism. So under Free Methodist churches, they came together at a place called Ribe. Thomas Wakefield established the first church at Ribe. Later on, Dr. Krapf returned back to his homeland. He died in the year 1881. Then later on in the year 1875, also Rebman retired from Rabai Christian Village, leaving behind only 6 Christians at this place, accompanied to Europe by Isaac Nyondo, who later, Johannes Rebman died in the year 1876. But 13 years later, after abolishment of slave trade, a great number of freed slaves plus refugees seeking for food and shelter came to this place. So there was an increment of number of converts here at Rabai Christian Village, from 6 to 2,000, resulting to the first church, which it became smaller in size. They had to establish a second church in the year 1887. So the first stone of the second church was laid by Mrs. Shaw in the year 1885. It was dedicated in the year 1887 by Bishop Parker, the second bishop of Eastern Equatorial Africa. So the extreme length of the building is 100 feet, breadth 50 feet, height from the bell turret 54 feet. We've tried to maintain the originality of this building, of the second church, and also initially we see that the first church, before it was renovated, initially the building was a Makuti thatched building. Then later on, the same first church also served as a classroom as the missionaries tried to introduce formal education in order to attract the local community. In the year 1998, the same building was transformed into a museum. Now it serves us as a gallery. We have some exhibitions inside it. So as we go around, we'll be able to see a lot of exhibitions explaining about the coming of missionaries, challenges in which we are facing, economic activities of the Rabai people, and many other more. So karibuni sana.
Thank you.
So on the church transformation, we have the initial pictures of how the first church and also the second church looked. And some transformations were done on this building, some renovations work were done on this building. So initially, the first church was a Makuti thatched building. Then later on, it was transformed into a museum. Then the German embassy came in and even upgraded the building. We have the second church. This is how initially it looked. Then we have the current situation, how it is looking right now. So on the first church built by Johann Ludwin Krapf in the year 1846 has undergone a series of utilization. The rectangular building was the modest in size enough to accommodate the congregation when the mission station at Rabai started. However, when slave trade was abolished, a great number of freed slaves plus refugees seeking for food and shelter came to Rabai Christian Village. The first church building became smaller in size. They had to establish a bigger one, St. Paul Church, in the year 1887. Then the first church also served as a classroom for Isaac Nyondo Primary School, and in the year 1998, the same building was transformed into a museum by the Rabai community plus the Federal Republic of Germany together with National Museums of Kenya. On the local personalities, we've been talking about Isaac Nyondo, who became the second convert, him together with his father here at Rabai Christian Village. Also, we have Samuel Kuri, who became the first canon here at Rabai Christian Village. We've been also talking about Timothy Mapenzi, who became the first African evangelist, and also he formed a council known as African Workers' Council to protect the interest of African workers during colonial rule by Imperial British East African Company. We have the likes of Canon William Muta, also who became the second canon here at Rabai Christian Village. We have the likes also of Bishop Ronald Samuel Ngongo. He was the first bishop of the Methodist Church. He became the first presiding bishop of the Methodist Church in Kenya.
Please tell us a little more about this Isaac Nyondo. Because he looks like a very interesting human being to get to know.
Okay, Isaac Nyondo, actually, he was the son of a Begonja, one of the first Christian leaders in Kenya, a faithful convert, champion, and an assistant to Johannes Redman, who became the first African teacher. He married Polly, one of the ex-slaves from India, and also he became a church elder here at Rabai. He died in the year 1881. Then his widow, 1881, the same year as Dr. Ludwin Krapf died in the year 1881.
So they worked together.
Yeah, so they worked together. His widow then also went to work at Freetown as a matron of a girls' dormitory. Okay. So
this Isaac Nyondo is a school opposite named after Isaac Nyondo.
Yeah, we have a primary school named after Isaac Nyondo. I initially told you that Isaac Nyondo became the first African teacher.
So he used to teach across the road.
Yes. So initially the missionaries used this building or their own buildings as classrooms as they tried to introduce formal education so that they will be able to attract the Rabai.
So he taught here.
So he taught here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So that just the school was established later on.
Exactly.
Okay.
So we have some other Christian villages which were established later. Actually, Dr. Ludwin Krapf also had a plan A and also he had a plan B. And the plan A was that when he was at Mombasa, he wanted to find a way back to Ethiopia. And at Ethiopia settled the Gala people, or the Oromo tribe, being the largest ethnic group in Ethiopia. So he wanted to use the Gala people to Christianize Africa due to the passion and fascination he had developed towards them while he was at Ethiopia. But due to hostile challenges to reach Gala land, Dr. Krapf turned his missionary attention to explore the Mijikenda people. So he used a term known as Apostle Street to establish a chain of Christian villages into the inner lands so that they will be able to spread Christianity evangelism at different areas. So it worked. We have the likes of Freetown Christian Village. We have Ribe Christian Village by Thomas Wakefield, who came together with Dr. Ludwin Krapf in the 1862. We also have Mazera's Christian Village, Methodist, by Charles New. We do have Wolbanti Christian Village, Sagala Christian Village. We do also have Makere, Wenje Christian Village, Lamu, Ngao Christian Village. Also, we do have Chamombe Christian Village by Timothy Mapenzi, Gilore Christian Village, Forodoyo, Wale, and finally Kaloleni by Miss Bid. So the main aim of establishing these Christian villages was so that they will be able to spread Christianity, evangelism at different areas. So on the abolishment of slave trade. We have some anti-slavery treaties which were signed. We have the Mosby Treaty, we have Hamilton Treaty, we also have Freer Treaty. Later we see that slave trade was abolished, and we see many of these freed slaves are running into these Christian villages in order to seek for refuge. Slave freedom certificates were issued that resembled that the slaves were now free. They were issued right in front of the second church. And later we can see in that picture that also later there was a shootout which happened at Krapf's house. And at the balcony stood Miss Did, who established Kaloleni Christian village. And the people who were shooting were the slave raiders who came to seek for their slaves, because we believe that when people were sold to the slave masters, they were like property, so they had come for their slaves. Actually, we see that in this case, Miss Did was rescued from that balcony, and things later were able to be to run smoothly. And on this point, we have a short history of Dr. Ludwin Krapf. I remember mentioning for you that Dr. Krapf's first wife was Rosine Dietrich. Actually, he married 3 times. Rosine Dietrich died at Mombasa. I remember telling you that. Later, he remarried to J.W.C. Pilagas, the daughter of a senator in Stuttgart in 1858. The second wife also died. So he remarried again to a third wife, Nanette, in the year 1869, but also she died. We have the memorial park where Rosine Dietrich and her daughter were laid to rest at Mombasa. So Krapf's major vision on his mission was to put Christianization into effect in East Africa, the so-called Apostle Street, a concept that was circulating in Basil Mission at that time. Dr. Krapf intended to use this concept for his plan to traverse the whole African continent by setting up a chain of mission stations similar to post stations. We have some translations which were done by Dr. Ludwin Krapf. Actually, he translated into varieties of languages, including Kamba language, Gala language, Rabai language, Swahili language, and also we do have a dictionary written by Dr. Krapf in Swahili language, first edition. We see that the missionaries also were facing a lot of challenges. I remember mentioning for you the challenge being tropical diseases. But I'll start from the first point. We have Islam as Islam religion that was deeply entrenched in Mombasa and along coast. Proved impossible for Dr. Krapf to convert the Muslims despite the support and authority of Sultan Said. On his first encounter with the Rabai people, Krapf was also perceived as an evil spirit or a slave raider. Suspicion and convertism also of the Rabai people and lack of funds almost forced Rabai mission station to close down. Also, the Rabai people were unwilling to work with the missionaries even after being paid. Tropical diseases like malaria and hostile climate and terrain were a major threat. Krapf and family suffered from malaria, and within days both mother, Rosine Dietrich, and her daughter died within days of each other. Language barrier and also periodic attacks from the warring communities such as Maasai during their journey into the inner land. So the land allocated to the church was 99.9 hectares of land. However, much of it was subdivided and allocated to educational institutions and individuals. So the church today remains with a total of 10.5 acres of land. So the first convert at Rabai Mission Station was a dying cripple called Mrenje in the year 1851. He was then followed by John Abegonja and Nyondo, who were baptized as Abraham and Isaac Nyondo, respectively, in the year 1860. So they worked hard on translation of the gospel into East African languages. They wrote the outline of Swahili grammar, compiled a dictionary in Kiswahili, translated the New Testament gospel in Kiswahili, Kinyika, Kirabai, and also Kikamba. So Dr. Krapf opened up a hinterland to European explorers and other missionaries who came after him due to his geographical reporting to the professionals back in Europe about his journey into East African interior, which attracted much attention. So Dr. Krapf helped to set a stage for colonization in East Africa that involved bringing economy under European control and training former slaves as missionary assistants. So when Johannes Redman retired to Europe in the year 1875, he left behind only 6 Christians at Rabai Christian Village. 13 years later, after slavery was abolished, there were 2,000 Christians at Rabai. So this building was Dr. Ludwin Krapf's house. We've also tried to maintain the originality of this building. It used to have an upper floor from the yellow top line, but as time went by, the upper floor became weak, so it had to be demolished from the yellow top line. But later on, the German embassy sponsored and brought the upper section back. But when I say originality, this is what I mean. We have the rails plus the iron sheets. So the foundation is still intact up to date. We can see the lower walls, their thickness, they're quite thick. And we've turned this place into a library for the community, and also we have some few offices inside it, a conference hall on the top. So initially, Dr. Krapf used the lower section as his house, and on the upper section he conducted mostly of his office work from the upper floor. Also, we do have a balcony behind. Initially, also the upper section had the ark design. So among the missionaries who ventured to the Kenyan coast, a few of them succumbed to death after a short stay of less than 3 months. Many of their deaths was as a result of tropical climate change and fatigue as a result of walking long distances in their crusade to convert traditional Africans. So most of their deaths were caused by severe tropical diseases like malaria, yellow fever, typhoid, among others whose causes and cure were not known at that time. So the people who are laid to rest at this point, the missionaries were as follows. We have Miss Rebman, the wife of Rebman. We have Johann Wagner, and also we do have Jacob Ehardit, and also we have Miss Austin, a lady dispenser. We have Miss Brewer, a senior lady missionary in the year 1885. We have Miss Lockett, Miss Coney, and also we have the likes of William Jones, Ismail Semler, Priscilla David, Polly, George. Also we have the likes of Abraham Jana Begonja, the father of Isaac Nyondo, Samuel Kuri, and also we have Isaac Nyondo, and also the second canon,
Isaac Nyondo is also buried here.
So the people who are laid to rest at this particular point are the people who devoted in serving here at Rabai Christian Village.
So this is where Krapf used to live. Me, I've learned a lot of things.
I've learned a lot.
I'll just saying information.
It's information overload, my friend.
Yeah. Okay, actually, you think you're in church and you don't know where
Yes.
But we are the place where the church
started.
There's some,
and we've learned a lot. We've seen even on the first this one. I've been on the first pulpit of the first church.
The first pulpit in this country.
In this country, of the first church in this country, I've been here.
Even actually the region.
Yeah, even
East
the
Africa.
region. Yes, yeah. And these are the people who actually people worked for this Christianity to be here. People have struggled. People have worked for it. Sio vile tunaichukulianga rahisi hivyo.
They've come from far.
Yes,
I can see they are calling it the cradle of Christianity.
Yeah.
Yes, the cradle, Christianity, true.
Yeah.
Because when these people came, according to the history that I've learned today here, at first they were rejected in one way because of the community sometimes. Before they welcome them, then give them time, give them a land. They started clearing the bushes and all that. Oh, I've learned a lot. I don't know what to say. But you will see on this content, my friend.
What I can say, being on the ground, getting the story personally is so interesting rather than what we just read on books. Maybe what they have covered on books, I can say it's 70%.
I came to trust the footsteps of
Religion.
Of Christianity, and Dr. Krapf, and we've learned a lot.
Yeah, extremely. Yes. So now, next
we continue the journey.
Let's continue the journey here in Rabai. Yeah. Tuendelee tusafiri nasi.
From here in Rabai.
From here in Rabai.
From here in Rabai.
Yes.